Okay, today I'm going to show you something I think y'all think is really interesting. Okay, now I'm going to get the item. It is known as a Wimshurst machine. I keep it in this closet. I call this closet my Fibber McGee closet because I store a lot of stuff in this closet. Okay, here is the Wimshurst machine. So before I use it, I will have to make sure these brushes are making contact with this wheel. Okay, I have fixed all the brushes. Now I will describe how this machine works. I feel it is best to describe this with a picture, but I'll attempt to explain it a little bit first. So there are four methods that you can generate electricity with: friction, induction, conduction, and polarization. So basically, these two wheels spin in opposite directions, and that's the friction part, and there's more, but I'll just show you with a picture. Okay, a picture really doesn't do justice explaining how the Wimshurst machine works, so I found this article by St. Mary's University. It includes pictures, so it'll make it easier to understand. So basically, you have the dielectric discs, which are these spinning wheels right here. They spin in opposite directions. And then you have the electrodes, which are these things right here. And then you have the conducting plates, which are these metal plates right here, or little foil strips. Then you have the double-ended brush, which are these neutralizing brushes right there. They run on either side. Then you have the collecting combs, which are these. They collect the charge. Then you have Leyden jars, which are an early type of capacitor, just like the saltwater capacitors I made for the magnifying transmitter, except they're not full of salt water. And then you have the handle, which is on the back. It spins the wheels. So basically it says the Wimshurst machine starts out with a small charge on one of the conducting plates. The charge generally comes from the environment, so the discs will not be perfectly neutral. If there was no charge to begin with, this machine would do nothing. Okay, let's say the charge is positive. As the wheel spins, the positive charge will move towards the double-ended brush, which is the neutralizing bar, on the other disc. When it aligns with this brush, it will induce a negative charge in the conducting plate directly across from it on the other disc. This negative charge will in turn cause a positive charge to appear on the plate on the other end of the brush. So basically, as the plates continue to spin, the original positive charge will reach the collecting combs on one side, and then it will be stored in a Leyden jar capacitor. Meanwhile, the positive and negative charges on the other disc will be rotating in the other direction, and when they line up with the double-ended brush on the opposite disc, they will induce a positive and negative charge on the conducting plates across from them. And those new charges will rotate until they align with the other double-ended brush, inducing more charges as the other ones reach the collecting combs and are stored. This cycle continues, and more charges being induced and then stored until it is discharged in the form of a spark. Then the whole cycle repeats. I hope this article made it easier for y'all to understand, because if I tried to explain it in my own words, I might confuse some of y'all. Okay, now I'm going to move the spark points closer together. I'd say that's about 4 inches, so 4 times 75,000 would be 300,000. So if a spark jumps from there to there, that would be 300,000 volts. Okay, now I'm going to make sure the Leyden jar capacitors are connected. Okay, now we're ready to turn this crank. Okay, I'm going to set the phone over here. Okay, here we go. Oh wait, let me move this just a tad closer. Okay, that should be good. Here, let me move this just a tad so y'all can see better. Let me turn off the lights. Okay, let's see if I can see that a little better. And because this thing has Leyden jar capacitors on it, it's still storing the charge, so I have to short the spark points, or else if I touch those, I'll get shocked. There we go. Now I can touch them. And sometimes it'll just be sitting and it'll build up a charge. And also I have another cool experiment to show you. Okay, now I will show you another interesting demonstration you can do with the Wimshurst machine. But for this, I'm going to move it into the parlor, and I'll put it on my parlor table. Okay, now I'm going to light that center candle in the candelabra. Let me get a match. Okay, now I'll take the center candle out of the candelabra and just hold it. Hopefully y'all can see this flame okay. Now I'm going to crank over the Wimshurst machine. Watch the flame. Ow, I just got wax on myself.